Welcome to Echoes and Roots. I'm Sabine, and I guide you back to nature, to your inner wisdom, and our ancestral ways of living in harmony with Mother Earth and the cosmos.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome back to this episode that's focusing on messages from whales, specifically humpback whales. Now, I just came back, still slightly jet lagged, from spending a week swimming out there with humpback whales at the Silverbank in Dominican Republic. There are only 3 locations in the world where you can swim with whales, be with them in the water. And as you can imagine, it was absolutely incredible. It was such an honor to be with them. It was such a gift to share the space with them and learn from them. And I've done this in preparation for my upcoming healing course that's going to start on Wednesday. So if you're interested, the sign up is in my bio. And in that course, we are going to heal with whales. I'm going to intuitively connect to them through our intuition, through journaling, as well as through dream work. We're going to dream with whales. And we're going to engage in a lot of different healing practices that are very aligned to how whales upkeep the harmony and our biosphere here on Earth. So we're going to engage with mind-body practices, a lot of breath work, a lot of nervous system regulation techniques, healing harp music. I'm really excited that I'm going to spend 5 more weeks with the humpback whales, and that I've just also could meet them in person, of course, to establish that connection. And there's so many things I want to share with you that they shared with me. And communicating with whales isn't, it takes time. It's about relationship building. It's about trust, and it's about patience, even when we were swimming with them. So we were out in a boat in the Silverbank. The Silverbank is a marine sanctuary that's out 7 hours. We drive out 7 hours from the Dominican Republic. And we were staying with them like 24/7, and then during the day we would go in smaller boats and then wait for opportunities to be able to go in the water with them and be with them. And what is so incredible, so whales communicate with us through dreams, and I think the whales literally communicated with the Dominican Republic government to establish this marine sanctuary for them. Because they are coming there historically already through their migration period. So these are the whales that are coming up from the west coast US, also even going up into Norway actually on a longer migration. And then they come down and they have, at the Silverbank Dominican Republic, they have their babies as well as they mate. So they have now pregnancy period of 11, exactly the time they migrate, 11.5 I think, or 11 months, 11 to 12 months. And then so they mate there, and then they migrate and they come back and they have the baby there. And you can imagine how special that water is. And now it is so beautiful that this sanctuary is protected, because the marine sanctuary means that not so many boats are allowed to drive through this sanctuary when it comes to whale tourism. So swimming with them, there's only 3 boats per year that get the license to be out there for 10 weeks. And there is a maximum for the entire season of 700 people through the entire season. And per week it was we were 20, and I think the other boats are also allowed to take a maximum of like 20 people. So there's a maximum of 60 people, and this is a area of kilometers that is allowed to actually be with the whales, go in the water. There's obviously no whale watching there. There's no cruise ships passing by. It's really, there are protected, they are left to have the space actually to have their children. And it's so, the waters there is just so there's a special energy in the water, because it is this place where they come and they engage in this beautiful love making. This isn't just like, your average type of sexual intercourse. They have these beautiful dances together, where they dance in the water and they becoming synchronous. I think when they find the right partner through frequency, they then start to realize when they swim together and they move in certain ways, and it's beautiful. They jump out of the water and go back in, and they move their fins, and it's a dance. It's really a dance that they are doing. And then the male and the female, they become synchronous. I think I said this correctly. So it's actually doing exactly the same at the same time, and it's so beautiful. And then the mating and the birthing of the baby has never been witnessed by us humans, at least for the written record history that we have. But it must be, I think it's a very sacred engagement. And then, of course, so there's strict regulations when you can go into the water, and it's really also very good. It's very well regulated. The team we went with, the boat, they've doing this over since 20 years already. They're very experienced. They are really respectful of the whales. So many times you're on the smaller boats, you're just observing what are the whales doing. Are we giving them enough space? Are they actually inviting us in? Because it's not like, oh, we're going into the water and we're just chasing after them. No. It's like waiting for an opportunity when they start to rest, and they invite us in so that we can actually go into the water. And we had multiple opportunities when we were swimming with them, if the mother and the baby, and then usually there is a male, a protector, and potentially that's the father of the baby. Nobody knows, but he is there as well to protect the mother and the baby at all times. And so we had multiple opportunities where we went in and we were swimming really close, especially to the baby and the mom. And it was so, I don't even know what to say. It's without words. It's like, I'm going to tear up, because it's, it's really incredible when you go in, and when you they have a massive aura when you be in their field. And the baby is very playful. The baby is like the baby is just, it's discovering first water, and it's learning how to make these dances that they're doing, and the songs, of course, the beautiful singing. The mom is very protective of the baby, so she is, even though she's resting, and the baby, is swimming up and down, back to her, and then it's really also close, like cuddling up to her. But the mom, she is very, very, very aware. And at any time, there would be an instance where, I don't know, she was, okay, it's enough with humans now, we had to close, and they would swim off. But it's just so special. And the baby, we were, because it was the start of the season, we were most likely the first humans the baby saw and felt and experienced. And it was just, I don't know, it was so incredible. If you ever get the chance to do it, if you feel a calling, do it, especially because it's very different. I've been on many whale watching tours throughout my life, and many of the commercial whale watching tours are really just they chasing the whales, and there isn't this level of awareness, of respect towards the whales very often. And it's kind of, it's not so nice sometimes. But when you go and swim with the whales, it's really different, because the people who organize it, they're They really care. There's a lot of regulations. The people who come, they really feel the call. So there is, they obviously make that effort and the time and the money investment to do that. And there is just so much more respect for the whales itself. And it's such a more beautiful, peaceful way to engage with them. So I'm like, oh my god, I'll continue because I'm tearing all up. I'm like thinking back of the baby, and I'm like, oh my god. You know, when you see like a 1 month old humpback whale, you were just like, this is like the most incredible thing. And so there's so many things I want to tell you, that why they are so important, and why I'm also doing a course to connect to them. And many of my upcoming courses are really about connecting back to nature, because you can see with the whales, they are really so in tune with Mother Earth, and they are so in balance and in this unity consciousness, that it is just the most beautiful teacher for us, an example for us how we can come back into balance. And they are here to protect the biosphere, and we are too. So whales and us, we are really brothers and sisters. So they are guarding the oceans in many ways, and we are guarding the land. And in the past, we knew this. We had many indigenous civilizations that highly regarded whales as very highly, and they established communication with them. And they had, because whales have these beautiful songs, and I need to tell you about the songs, especially of the humpback whales, but these beautiful songs. And we had these beautiful songs and dances. And even when the whales would come back from the migration period into the base, we would like sing for them, with them. We would welcome them back, because we know they are our brothers and sisters, and they are so highly, highly evolved. Like it is, if you incarnate as a whale, as well as some of these old trees, I'm gonna come to the trees too, this is an absolute honor. It's an absolute honor to do this on a soul level. It is a much higher evolved path than being a human. And so even on a genetic level, whales and us, we share DNA. So we are both created out of the Aura-Fim DNA. The Aura-Fim DNA template is the template that is coming out of the Christic system. The Christic system is basically the system that is connecting directly into the God field, into the 13, 14, 15 dimension, the God field. And out of this template, to basically guard this template that is protecting in our universe love, unity, and equality. We have different races, and we had the Azorites, with many different races, like, as I said, animals, humans, plant species. And out of the Azorites, we were created, and the highest expression of our DNA is the Aura-Fim template. And so the Aura-Fim template can go up to 48 strand DNA. Now, the human and our seeding here on Earth, we were seeded with a base 12 strand DNA. We had then subsequently a shutdown of these strands that led to the times we are in, where we are very disconnected. So 200,000 years ago, we had the first shutdown back down to a 10 base system. And now we are currently, and the average human is 3 strand DNA activated. But we have the 12 strand dormant, and whales are higher in this. Whales are 24 to 48 strand. And so they are in so many ways. And what does it mean? So going away from the physics, right, or the biology, what does it actually mean? it means that the awareness of the unity consciousness is extremely high. And when you have an extremely high awareness of that, you are a guardian of this, of unity, of balance, of love, of equality, and you live in harmony with your environment. And this is what they are doing. They are so, when you observe them, and we spent 8 hours a day for the 5 days in a row, just being with them, observing them, being in the water. You recognize that everything they are doing is, I'm missing the word now. It's not conscious, because no, that's not the right word. It's like intentional. Everything is intentional, and everything is in alignment with what is needed to create balance with Mother Earth. So the way they are moving through the water, the way, even like, when they do these dances, so when they jump out, when they slap the water, it creates frequency. It also codes the water with memory. But it basically creates certain frequency in water that brings the water back into harmony. And when you think about it, they are assisting us so much. We have a lot of harmful frequencies on our planet, the EMF, many others, that are really disturbing for the natural balance and disturbing for us feeling connected to God, to unity consciousness, to Mother Earth herself. So, and they're bringing that constantly back into balance with the movements that they're doing, but also, of course, the humpback songs. I mean, in the course, we will be listening the humpback songs, but their songs are. There's such incredible research around the songs, and we still know so little. But what we know about their songs is that the songs are changing over time. So it's evolving with how Earth is evolving and how cells are renewing on Earth. Also, when they are singing, they're singing down. They're singing at locations that are like amphitheaters. So when you think about what we have built here, when we wanted to really amplify sound, because sound, as we know, can bring structures into balance, it can also bring structures into disharmony. So sound is the most powerful tool we have because the first creation is sound. After sound, light comes. So the three fields of God, of which also the veils are created out of. So we have sound fields, 3 sound fields, and out of these 3 sound fields, 3 light fields are created. This is the unity field of God, and this is the gold, the amethyst, and the emerald. And out of the amethyst ray, the cetaceans, whales, and dolphin species are created. Now we have also, and I'm explaining this a lot, we have the duality system as well, the opposite of the unity consciousness, the Christic. The Christic has nothing to do with Christianity. It is just a word that describes this system that is that is based on unity, on law of one, on equality, on love, on oneness. Now the opposite of that is the Metatronic system, which happened out of a DNA convolution. And so the Metatronic system is the finite system of energy, right? Where energy, where you start to feel you are disconnected from God, even though it's all of God. But this is the kind of like you can run less and less of that original frequency in your template, and therefore then you need to start consuming the energies of others. That's what the system does. It consumes the energy of others. It's very based on like this kind of very narcissistic, parasitic template. And out of this system, we also had on our planet whale and dolphin species planted here to basically disturb and run like harmful frequencies, disturb the biosphere. And the thing is though, Mother Earth, she of course holds the balance itself. Mother Earth if that's one of the things I really, if you leave her alone, she restores balance. She also knows herself how to deal with the more parasitic species and plant and animal species. And if you think about us as humans right now, we could be considered from an Earth standpoint as parasitic because we are constantly taking from Mother Earth and not upkeeping the balance. So what's happening with these species over a long period of time, when we allow Earth to really come back into harmony and the balance, these species go into what's called bioregenesis, where basically the DNA template gets corrected back into the 12 strand in our case for Earth, and then the 15-dimensional matrix, where you basically come back into unity consciousness. Now, currently though, we're seeing a lot of the parasitic influence, unfortunately, so the balancing hasn't happened yet. But it's a process that Mother Earth, I think, throughout her history has gone through again and again and again. So it's the same with the whale species. They are also, of course, trying to balance out the ones that are really here upholding the balance compared to the ones that are disturbing the balance. And some that are really upholding, they're coming out of the aquatic system, are the humpbacks, because you can really see when you look at them, when you observe them, how much they are just so in service to Mother Earth. They're really in service here to her, and we are there reminding us of our task, because we have become too parasitic ourselves, like we are just destroying too much. And so we also need to get back into that level of unity consciousness in the end of the day, so we can fulfill our task here on land. And that's why also this coming back to animal communication, coming back to communicating with Mother Nature is so important, because she shows us, she shows us the way. Earth shows us the way. And we really have all the answers we are looking for to restore harmony, to restore peace, are here. Everything is here. We are looking so much always to the outside for answers, and especially also now as we are getting more and more psychic awareness, we are becoming aware, of course, that we are not just Earth citizens, we are galactic citizens, right? We are having different galactic races on different planets. We're having them down here too. We have an intermix of different bloodlines here with various different DNA, and as we are becoming more aware of that, it is really important to understand that even in the higher dimensions, we have dualities, we have wars, we have galactic races that upkeep the law of one. We have many galactic races that come out of the Metatronic systems that don't do that, that are here for we conquer, we control, we take over, because we need the resources and the energies of others. And we see this down, and that's what I'm saying, we have everything down here on our planet too. We see this, right, with the constant wars we are going, where we go into other countries, we take the resources out of the country, and so it's really important for us to know that actually the answers are not out there. The answers are not even with any kind of other galactic beings. The answers are already here. We have here on Earth, we have with Mother Earth, when we communicate with her, when we communicate with the animal plant kingdom, we get all the answers, because the solutions are here. And even in terms of like energies and healing and frequencies, so for instance, the kind of it's a very also healing energies that the veils are holding, but it's an energy that is from here, and we are so quick, we're gonna channel like whatever Pleiadian healing, Arcturian healing, and in the best cases we might pick up something that could be beneficial. In most cases, though, most of that stuff is actually coming from the fallen angelics who disguise themselves as light, and actually just out of the Metatronic system. It's not beneficial for us at all. But the point is that we have like healing frequencies all here on Earth already. Mother Earth has them. you know, and we have many animal and plants that embody them. And we as humans, we are a healer race. The Azorites, where we are created out of, that is like the higher, let's say, galactic group, is a guardian and a healer race, because we are here to heal whenever we come into this duality system, no matter if it's on this third dimension, or there is duality in the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, there is duality everywhere. And us thinking that, oh, if we go up to the fifth dimensions or peace, no, unfortunately, I used to think that once too, because, you know, we all want that, but it's not like that. We are here to create peace, and we are here to create peace on this planet in the third dimension. You know, that's our task here. That's something. We are a healer race, we are a guardian race, and we are contracted with Mother Earth. That's our planet. And Mother Earth, as we can see, is not going into any kind of golden age right now, or has any kind of fifth dimensional frequencies here constantly running, because then the world would look maybe a bit different. You know, no, we are here to restore that balance, and we have very simple ways, looking back at nature, how we can do that. It's just all here, and simply embodying, like the whales were also telling me, we are healing when we just, because we as humans, we have our own healing frequency. Us ourselves, we are like, everything is here in this body. You know, we are the solution. We the solution. We always constantly think on the outside. You know, like we talk to this God, we talk to Jesus, we talk to this galactic race. I don't know what. You know, the solutions are actually here. You know, they're within us. just need to sit a bit in nature, and you know, things become very simple. Life becomes simple. Solutions are there. And when we just, so the whales are telling me, when we just act out of the amount of love and compassion we can feel in our heart, it's the most healing frequency we can ever bring to anything. And it's held here on Mother Earth. So, I mean, and like what we can really also learn from the whales, because it's more about their way of life, their way of being, how they go through life in harmony with Mother Earth, how they're so gracious. And even like, I don't like, it's so funny, like when you listen to the whale researchers, you know, and they interpret everything from our mentality, you know. We know so little about the whales. That's why I think it's important to start to intuitively communicate with them, because they are open to it when you establish a connection. It does take time, because you know, we have almost got them extinct. We hunted them down terribly in the last 100 years, and just now thank God, we are slowly making a turning point where we are recognizing, we do need to protect some of these species on our planet, because if they get extinct, we get extinct. You know, and maybe actually in the end for the planet might be better, but if we get extinct, but you know, so far we can do a couple of things to honor this planet and try to work with the planet. So, where was I going? So it takes time to establish this connection with the whales, because of course they are going to be a bit cautious, right, around humans. But they're at the same time also open, because they know we are brothers and sisters, and we had like thousands and thousands of years where we communicated with each other, and where we had many civilizations here. We just need to look back at our ancestors. You know, we here lived in the third dimensional plane, quite highly evolved, with many civilizations here that we had, that were really peaceful, that really upheld the law of one, that lived in equality. We had literally, like, you know, some of my favorite civilizations, like the Maltese ones and many others. I think what happened on Orkney Islands too, and there's indigenous civilization where there was a lot of equality. You know, we didn't always have like the crazy race system and hierarchy. That's Metatronic. You know, that's the sort of mindset. Like, I need to dominate, you need to be a slave. You know, I need your resources. No, we also had the other thing here, and. We have established like balance many times on this planet, and therefore I'm thinking all the answers are there. We can do it again, you know. It's not rocket science. We don't need all these fancy tech and whatever. We certainly don't need AI for it. But yeah, what was I going to say? So we can learn a lot from the whales just about how they are with Mother Earth, you know. And they are slow. They're very slow. Time slows down when you're there. And time actually can be very slow. Like this morning I was listening to this thing where it's saying time is speeding up, and I'm like, that's not necessarily true. It's a perception, but actually you can really like slow down time. And they are really kind of, sometimes they swim fast, of course, but overall how they go about life, as I said, is very intentional and very slow. Oh yeah, and I forgot, I was telling you about I'm going from A to B to C to C. I forgot to tell you about the songs they're singing, the humpbacks. If you want to immerse yourself in them, come into my course. We're going to be with the whales for like 5 more weeks. It's going to be so cool. Having so special. But anyway, so the songs. So look, how we've built, right? We worked a lot with sound healing because we know the first creation is sound. We've used it for good and we used it for bad, you know? So, well, be careful. As I said, discernment is your number one thing you need to cultivate in this lifetime. It's like be discerning about everything that's out there. But what we have done, we have built these beautiful sound temples, like underground temples in Malta, everywhere. Sound temples we had everywhere. Like, even like our churches are like massive sound temples, you know? And then, though they were not necessarily always used for good, but you know, that's where the discernment comes in. We're like, what are we doing in these sound temples? Who's running the show? What are the motivations behind whatever music is being put on? But so the whales, there are locating spots in the ocean that are natural sound temples, and they're singing into these spots down. So like the whale is then pointing down. That's they call it a singer. So I mean, they say it's primarily like a male whale. I don't know. I'm not sure. You know, we know so little about them. But okay, I give it to the researchers who are whatever. Yeah. But anyway, so they point down, and then here the location, usually they select a location where literally when they sing down, it echoes so far out, right? It reaches everywhere. This is what we were doing on land as well when we were building all these incredible sound temples. And yeah, and then the sound can reach everywhere, and then it can impact a larger area. And that reminds me now of the megalithic sites I visited on the Azores, which used to be Atlantis. Where I was swimming, by the way, was also Pruha, Atlantis. I posted a couple of videos about that whole history there. This is where the fall of Atlantis happened. This is like an incredible area. So historically, so much happened there. Yeah. But anyway, so where was I? Sound temples, yes, on the Azores, where we would literally, this was so incredible how we would build, like that's what I'm saying, all the answers are here. So we would build these massive areas, megalithic areas, where we would actually arrange the stones, work with the ley lines, work with the, especially water. The water is so important because sound travels, of course, through the water, right? Work with the waterways, and then we would also there create, ideally, hopefully, I hope that's what we did with all this effort, create harmonious sounds. And then it creates an entire field where out of a sudden you are in a field that is healing, right? Because I said the frequencies are here, you know, we just need to know how to do it. And so you then where your cells, your DNA comes into harmony, and you're really feeling that, what is it that we want to feel? Oneness, right? We want to feel the unity consciousness. We want to feel one with everything around us. And of course with God always flows through us, that frequency, but you know, the feeling it, knowing it, you know, and being in that state of oneness and carrying that state of love as well. You know, not constantly being in fear, but more in a state of love. And So they amplified those sounds. It was us on land now, a source. And then it would spread where they had the settlements as well. It would spread into those areas. So where you lived, you had these zones where the frequency was harmonious. It's the opposite of what we are building now with all the 5G towers, right? And that's why we are waking up, because we're like, what on earth are we doing? You know, why are we surrounding ourselves with like disharmonious sounds that basically lead to disease? You know, and I think it needs to have gotten so bad that we remember a couple of things how to do the opposite, and our ancestors have done the opposite, because at all times, as I said, we had throughout history, we had like civilizations here on earth, super hierarchical, doing all kind of messed up things, higher evolved, yeah, working with like magic, black magic, you know, like blood sacrifices en masse. Like when you look at Mesoamerica, before that, before the Mayan got hijacked and started to worship all these fake gods, they were super in tune with nature, super in balance, you know. Same in Egypt, you know, before Egypt was amazing once, before it got all hijacked with the Pantheon and then all of the slavery and the crazy things, the black magic that was going down there. Like, so it is, as always, like we get out of balance, we come back into balance. And now we are in a time as well, boom, totally gotten out of balance, doing all kind of really harmful things for us, for the planet, for the animals, you know, getting many species extinct that are important for this planet. So we do need to go back and like communicate with the humpback whales, for instance, to understand a little bit, okay, how do we get back into balance? What is the knowledge actually? That's what I'm saying. The knowledge is not up there with the Arcturians. The knowledge is here. Everything is here on this planet. You know, everything is held deep. Whales, they are holding this knowledge. They are like a knowledge library. They're like the Akashic records of the planet. They're holding all of that knowledge for us. They kept it in their songs. Oh, see, I'm still coming back to the songs. So the songs are also, what I love so much of the humpback whales, what we know, the songs are evolving and they're giving from one pod to the other. They're giving the songs to one pod, then the other pod takes it on. It's almost like, okay, there is a level of, I think, stories. They're holding also stories and information. As I said, they're passing down the important information for us, you know, that we need to know how to bring balance back on the planet. They are keeping that for us, and they have done so for thousands and thousands of years. Luckily, we didn't get them extinct, you know. Almost, but luckily some sense got into us where we're like, oh, we need to stop with that, you know, killing all the whales because it's not good. And actually, and you know, you can say whatever you want about the whole climate change agenda, but they do point out a couple of important things. For instance, one of them, why are whales so important, why we shouldn't be killing all of them, is because they actually help tremendously with the biosphere. There are whales, and oh, this is another thing I love. You know, I love talking to trees, and now I'm immersing myself in talking to the humpback whales. But they are the trees of the oceans, literally. And there is this beautiful story where you have the indigenous civilization of New Zealand that said their sperm whales, they had a twin, and it's a specific tree, and then the whales would talk to the trees, and I totally believe that, because all these animals species know how to communicate telepathically with each other. And as I always tell you, the average tree is more intelligent than the average human. You don't even need to get to a very old tree. And sorry, I hope I didn't offend anyone here. No, but we have, when you look at some of the really old trees, and there's also, we almost cut down all the old trees in the same period. We almost got the whales extinct because, well, I guess what, right? We tried to kill ourselves. And so the very old trees, the amount of knowledge, they're another Akashic record bank. They're also holding so much wisdom for us, just like the whales. So they're really also siblings. And that's why we are also siblings of the trees, you know, like it's all connected. So what was I saying? So I totally believe they're communicating with each other. And that's why we can also use our psychic gifts, to communicate with telepathically with these species. And that is, what I'm teaching you. That's the organic. I'm like, I went from, I talked once to the galactics, and then I was like, that's a bunch of bullshit. I'm like, no. Now I'm using my psychic gifts to talk to Mother Earth. It helps. I don't know. I think it helps much more. It keeps you grounded. It's just like, it's more beneficial to the planet. I didn't see anything good coming down from the so-called galactics. Sure, there is some benevolent. There's some benevolent ones, of course. There are. I don't want to dismiss that, but but the thing is, we have all the information down here, so we don't need to go so far. We can recognize them and be like, yeah, nice if you're around, if you're benevolent. If you're non-benevolent, you better go. But what I was saying, yeah, telepathically. So I really believe these species all telepathically communicate with each other. And when they do their songs, and then in the ocean, the whales now, the humpback whales, they really amplify it. I also think it's really to inform not just themselves, but also other species in the oceans, and to even for the ocean, to encode some memory. And yeah, so now we're going back. So like what we are learning from the climate change, agenda that whales are the ocean's trees. And why? Because they can hold so much carbon dioxide. They capture carbon. And that's really important. And with their waste, they are supporting phytoplankton. And phytoplankton is one of the biggest producers of oxygen on our planet. Like, wait, I wrote this down this way. I need to look at this. They contribute to 50% of all oxygen. 50%. And they capture, this is a massive amount, they capture a massive amount of carbon, as much as like 1.7 trillion trees, which is 4 times the Amazon forest. So there is, when you, for instance, think about this, now whale population is slowly coming back, and the more we protect them, the more it is, of course, good for our planet. When you think about how much we had the whole deforestation, right? How much forest we're cutting down, and how that is really not good for the biosphere. But then, of course, with the whale population coming back, they are balancing that a little bit out. Like the land, right? The ocean, what's happening in the ocean is also balancing out what is happening on land. But just thinking about that, like how, like that we are made of water, right? That's why everything is happening in the ocean is so important. And we can't survive without oxygen. Oxygen is also our connection to God, the breath, like we can't do without that. We used to be, a long time ago, in our original design, we used to be just breatharians. We didn't have to eat. That happened when we went down from the 12th strand to the 10th strand. But before that, yeah, we were breatharian. And this is all you need, in terms of the breath is God, So, and God, as I said, it's a frequency. This is the frequency of infinite energy, of life, That's what God is. It's incredible. And the whales keep that up for us, and that's why also now, as we getting, when we get more awareness of these different species and how they're important, how forests are important, and trees, when we get back to that, to communicating with that, not just like, yes, there's a health benefit for us, right? But it's about the balance, about the biosphere on our planet, because as I said, we were seated originally as guardians of this whole thing. We are meant here to protect the planet. And so we are learning a couple of tough lessons of how not to do it, and how to just like totally mess things up. And then we are coming back to, okay, now we learned this lesson. And I don't know how many, I don't know if we are constantly going through these cycles of like forgetting unity consciousness and then coming back to it. Like maybe it's just like that. It's non-stop. I don't know. I don't know. But it's what we are in right now, and that's important, right? It's the times we are in right now. We're seeing that we are, yeah, especially also with the course, like, because the whales are so, they are slow and they're intentional and they're calm. A lot of my course, Healing with Whales, is going to be really focused on the nervous system. And this is also what people actually need, because we are so much in this fight and flight, and we are also, especially with all the screens and the mobile phones and the AI technology, we're getting constantly distracted, and we're filling our entire day with distraction, and it was so good. I mean, out there, I was really not online, and oh my god, in the past, actually there was no internet out there on that silver bank. I think that was the best also for the whales. Now they have satellite, but the thing is, like, I was really trying to be as much offline, because it's like it's so good for us. It's just so good for your mind, and you're just coming back and you're realizing, wow, this is all drama out there, and this is like all a kind of madness out there. And when I was just like observing the whales, and they're just like, of course they also live in a world, when you think about, they got hunted down, right? There is all this pollution in the ocean. They don't have an easy life. There's all these harmful frequencies that they're dealing with. There's also on their migration route, they can lose members of their pods, and they can lose their because they're actually really, I really think they're matching with really like the right frequency partner, that how we used to, maybe one, like, used in the past, not to sleep around with everyone, but like, find the right DNA match, and just like, be a bit more in tune with ourselves. And yeah, so I think the whales are much more like that. They're really in tune with whom are they going to mate with, but of course that person can be lost in the migration, everything that's happening with whales, right? They are not in an easy life, but that is so incredible. So their life isn't easy either. It's like they're bombarded with the same amount of pollution, and especially also with the frequencies, as they are so sensitive to sound, and they're bombarded with a lot of really harmful and non-harmonious sounds. But in all of that, they are still upkeeping. Welcome to my cat now. They are still upkeeping this level of living life with grace, and living, being so much in their heart, and just so, oh my god, like the mom, baby, and then even the protector, at the back, like the male, just, and we don't see, because we are not allowed to go in when the male gets very active, because then, like, there's too much activity, and it can, like, accidents can happen. So we actually don't know how the male, the potential father, is interacting with the baby, and everything that happens, underwater, like all kind of nice engagements that could happen there, and how the wider pod is interacting, because we're also not allowed. They are very often swimming in a bigger pod of like 4 to 6 whales, and we are also then not allowed to go in and swim with them then. And so we don't really actually know what is going on, and how they are like dancing, communicating with each other. But in what I was saying, in all of the difficulties they're living in, almost have gotten extinct, right? All of these harmful frequencies, like the sound tones that they're dealing with, is not nice, and the pollution. They're still remembering they're our guardian. They're still remembering they're here for Mother Earth. They're still remembering that they're here to embody like love and grace and beauty. Like when they that's the paw of my cat coming up. When they dance, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. When they sing, it's beautiful. And how they move, like just how they move through the water, and also so much joy. Oh my, that is one of the messages I got from them as well. It's, we are far too serious as humans. They have a lot of joy. They're very playful. Not just the baby, also like the adults, when they jump out of the water, it's just like for fun. We want to see what is up there, when we go into air, it's like, and they're having a lot of fun. And I mean, God, we forget that. We so forget that sometimes. Like, we are just so serious and everything is so traumatic and terrible. But no, we are here to also, that is one of the things of Mother Earth, right? Mother Earth loves beauty. Mother Earth loves when her creation is enjoying life, because that is to celebrate life. You know, life is overall beautiful. Life can be simple and beautiful. And so nice. So before I got onto the boat, I had this really absolutely amazing hike. So I stayed in an eco lodge at the mountains, and then I stayed in a very beautiful boutique eco lodge at the ocean, which was also like, oh, it was very nice. And very, like, not many people. I didn't stay in the mass tourism hotels because, yeah, you know, that's for the mass tourism there. But anyway, so in the mountains, that was so nice, so good food, so nice people, and all the locals. And then I went with a local guide. We went hiking to a sacred pool that was sacred for the indigenous civilization, right? And there's also so much knowledge lost from the indigenous. I'm just thinking the indigenous must have, I just want to know how they interacted with the whales, and did they already come down there to migrate, and how did they interact with the land, and all of that. Anyway, so there were these really incredible sacred pools, and the energy was really, you step into that place and there's no one there, and you're like, as if you're stepping into some different time, you know. That's what I'm saying, time is not speeding up everywhere. Some places you're just like, there isn't even time here, you know. It was really beautiful. And anyway, so the guide was super nice. He local. He lived, you know, he lived there. It's a rural area. He has a garden, you know, grows some fruits, takes people on these hikes. I think he really feels like he knows all the plants and the birds, and he really is a bit of a protector of that area. And then in the evening, they all go out, you know, they go dancing in the Dominican Republic. They have like the merengue. And unfortunately, I didn't have time to go to any of these dancing things. But, you know, I just think it's a simple life, but it's a nice life. You know, don't worry too much about fame and money and whatever. You don't have enough money, you know, like, to just live your life, eat good food, because what they were growing there, that food was tasting really good. What they were growing on the land, of course, it's kissed by the sun, you know. You eat an avocado that's like had some proper sun, and that's like, you know, grown in proper earth and soil. And yeah, you surround yourself with natural fibers, and then, you know, you in the evening you see your friends or community, you dance, you have some fun. Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Life can be very simple, and we make it very complicated and very, like, kind of like artificial, you know, in our boxes, apartments, and very removed from nature. And so, yeah, the whales are telling me, I mean, they're so close, right? They are so close to, they are in the ocean, I mean, with nature, and they don't have all these weird technology, artificial things we have. And they have a lot of fun too, you know, with everything that is dire on this planet. They still have so much joy. And when you see, oh, okay, talking about the baby again now. Oh my God. When you see the baby, you're just like, the baby is just the cutest. And I'm just like, and then how the baby is really just for fun, also how it's moving around and trying things out, and trying also to, you know, learning how to jump out of the water. And it's just like, you're like, oh my God, life can be just also so nice and so simple, and so beautiful, you know. And some of us will go back into that, and some will just go down the, you know, AI rabbit hole, and whatever, that's also a choice. But yeah, it was really nice. It was just okay. It was just so nice to be with them and to learn from them. And I think we can. There's so much they can teach us, and I really, oh my God, I do want to speak to the trees that speak to whales. Like, I need to find them. I'm sure they're gonna call me. Even the trees in the Dominican Republic were incredible. Some of the ones, there used to be some really old and big ones, and they shot them down, you know, when the Europeans came over. With that also very, very removed mindset from unity consciousness. That mindset has been going on for quite a. That's what I'm saying. We had the unity consciousness and the law of one on the planet, and then we have the other thing. It's maybe also for us to even actually, but sometimes when I think about it, okay, we are a healer race, we are a guardian race, but if we didn't have the duality, if we didn't have the Metatronic system and all their, domination agenda, we wouldn't have anything to really protect. We could live all in peace and still know we need to protect it, but maybe we do have to learn at times what it means to lose peace and to lose unity consciousness and equality, especially also equality, right? When you think about the slavery and oh my god, all of that stuff, and what we think about different races, and so when we lose that, we get maybe a bit more into our mission as a race of just being a protector and a guardian of the things that are worth upholding. So this is just some of the things the whale teach me. And of course, if you want to communicate to them yourself, if you just want to feel them and be with them, and then of course do also some nice exercises and learn some just nervous system regulation techniques, then join. We start on Wednesday. Join my course, Healing with Whales. It's all recorded if you miss any of the sessions. I'm also going to be doing intuitive readings for you. We all gonna join together and read with the tune into the whales intuitively and into what they want to tell us, because they have a lot to say. As I said, they are like our elders, the wise ones. They have a lot to tell us. There's so much to learn from them. Yeah, that's all I want to say. So I said, life can be simple, can be beautiful. Don't forget to have some joy and some fun and protect what is worth protecting. And with that being said, I thank you so much for your time here, and I hopefully feel you in the space next time. Bye bye.
Follow me on Instagram at Echoes and Roots for grounded spirituality, ancient wisdom, and nature-based living.